PrepSpin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of PrepSpin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson, Sims, and Commode, PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report, celebrating 20 years on TV.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high-performing by U.S. News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
Welcome in, Coach Wes Johnson from Paul Arch Dunbar, and thanks for participating in the 2022 PrepSpin Football Preview. We're here at the Whitaker Bank Broadcast Studio at Rafferty's Restaurant. Thanks to everyone for tuning in the PrepSpin Football webcast as we start the football season. I want to introduce Coach Meehan. How you doing?
Doing great. Great night.
Great last night.
4 good coaches coming in tonight.
And King of Stream. And Rob Ullery from UK Sports Medicine, our title sponsor.
And Dylan.
And Dylan, that's right. Daughter of Coach Johnson. We'll be remiss if we didn't mention her. Coach, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on. What a great setup you got here.
It is a great setup. Talk to us about your upcoming schedule this year.
Well, obviously we've got a real tough schedule to come out of the gate with. 3 of our first 5 opponents were in the state semifinals last year, the state championship game. So, it's obviously front loaded for us, and but it's exciting. That's when you kind of get to see what your team has and stacked up against some of the best teams in the state of Kentucky.
I believe your first game on the 19th, you play one of your rivals, East Jessamine, don't you?
That's right. That's right. I've played West Jessamine my first few years here. Got into their bowl. With COVID, we hit or miss there the first couple of years with that, and I always love to just kind of come back and be in Nicholasville and Wilmore and support those 2 programs as much as I can, and just being in their bowl game is an honor, and it's just kind of fun to get back on that field. That's where I played high school football,
right.
Was West Jessamine, which is where the game is, this year.
Right.
How did your scrimmage go last week?
We had a great scrimmage. Really found out a lot about our team. And in some ways we're kind of ahead of where we were in the past few years, and I think that's attributed a lot to the work that we were able to get in, before the season and in the winter, where the past few years we haven't been able to do that, with the restrictions and things going. So, really we're able to gain some momentum and really, get the teaching aspect of football in before we hit the field, and so that really showed up on Friday. We had a 4-team, grid, and you get to see a lot of different types of football. We had Southwestern in Franklin County and Oldham County, so we have quite a few things going on, schemes and things that you got to see that night.
Yeah, that's a really good idea to do that. Your kids get a different look too from everybody.
Absolutely.
different person playing over them and so on. One of the things I mentioned to Gary and William, we started doing this. We got to talk a little bit about your assistant coaches, because I know from coaching, these guys, they help build your program. Just talk a little bit about them and maybe name who you have.
We have a lot of guys that put in a ton of work. My defensive coordinator is Rodney Bird. He's a veteran in Fayette County. Been teaching in Fayette County for a long time. Had stops at Tate's Creek, for a while. Was out at West Jessamine a little bit, and I brought him up with me about 3-4 years ago. He came up after my second year there at Dunbar to come up to be my defensive coordinator. Zach Tibbs is my offensive coordinator. He's a first-year coordinator, but just a great young coach, great bright mind, spends a lot of time and really trying to put together the best for our kids, and really a comprehensive coach, covers all parts of the game. We have one guy left over from the previous staff, Jimmy Lee. He's our JV head coach and also coaches our running backs. Just a great guy. He also does Young Life for Dunbar as well, so he's just great in our community. Got a guy this year, Zach Dampier. He was the quarterback at Georgetown, played under Cronin, and is our quarterbacks coach. Great first-year young guy. Tavon Dunn is our defensive backs coach. Does our weight program and some of our strength conditioning. He played at Tate's Creek, actually. Have Chaz Pardue. His dad was special teams coach under Joker Phillips, and is kind of a Hall of Fame coach down in Georgia, so he's got a good coaching lineage behind him. Got Ryan Timmons, who played at UK, is obviously our pass game coordinator. Does a great job with our receivers. I have a new guy, Coach Lewandowski. Jordan comes coaching a lot of different things, and he coaches our safeties, our overhang safeties there. And let's see, I know I'm going to forget somebody.
Don't forget Dylan.
Well, Dylan is it. She questions everything I do when I come home on Friday night, and
just like the movie
that's right.
that we all talked about, the
Remember the Titans,
Remember the Titans,
Coach Yost's daughter, and so this is kind of my Coach Yost's, daughter is. She comes home and she knows all about it, and she spends a lot of time at the football field, and the guys really enjoy, having her around, and she's gotten to know some of the football players, and nice. She runs around with the cheerleaders, and it's a family.
It's a family
event.
thing. That's good. Hey, listen, let's talk a little bit about this year, but first of all, mention some players that graduated, that left, that you had to replace.
Well, our two big ones were Sam and Cy Turley. I kind of call this the post-Turley era. They were twins, and so I got 2 for 1 there. One of them is playing at Georgetown this coming year. The other one, could have played wherever he wanted to, but decided he just wanted to, go to school and college. And both of them are great kids. Lost three offensive linemen total. So those two, and then I had Drew McConnell, who I lost as well, who was really a utility guy. Played a lot of different spots on the line. I had lost Kamarion Robinson. Was the first team all-city running back last year. Really just came on and did a wonderful job for us. He was, one of those kids that, came over and didn't have a whole lot of, huge production in middle school, but just really developed, with our football team and had a fantastic couple of years there. And those are huge production guys that we'll miss. Yeah. But all great leaders as well. And I think that's one thing that we're finding now is who's going to step up in those leadership roles when they.
Coach, you have about 3 or 4 weeks to find out about this team before your first real game.
Yeah.
What are you finding out about the Bulldogs here in this after the dead period, getting into scrimmages, what do you find out about your team that you really like?
Well, we're really athletic in all positions, and it's probably one of the first teams I have where we just are very athletic and fast at every defensive position that we have. Offensively, we have great depth at our skill area. We have a big quarterback. We did lose a running back to a 7-on-7 injury, tore his ACL. Justin Baube, who was a senior running back for us, was such a devastating thing because he's such a great worker for us, and just it was a sad time to have that happen to him.
Absolutely.
So we really feel for him. We had that happen to us last year too in a 7-on-7. I had a outside linebacker tear his ACL, and before it even gets going, and it's just a devastating injury for those guys because
especially
they look
for
forward.
A senior too, really.
Look forward to that senior year.
Let's talk a little bit about your team this year. Let's start on offense. Start at quarterback and then go through the backfield. And
Sure.
What do you think? Your strengths and weaknesses are. And so on.
Well, I believe our strengths are skill kids, which doesn't mean that. And I say that because we have depth. I think our offensive line is a great offensive line. We're young. We have a couple of young guys that are filling in, or guys that don't have the experience because we did lose 3 starters.
Yeah.
But my 2 starters coming back, Kendall Wills, has been a starter for 3 years. Colton Turner's been really a starter or a major player for us. He's our center. He's been a starter or a major player for us for all 4 of his years. So it's not like we don't have experience, or it's not like we're good. So when I say it's our strength, our skill is our strength, it's because of our depth.
Right.
Our offensive line is very good. We're just young and some inexperience, and that'll be a group that gels as the season progresses.
How many guys came out for the team this year?
We always get a group of freshmen at the beginning of the year, those that move in, didn't know about it, that sort of thing. So we always get about 10 more. Right now we have 75 players, and with about 10 more, we'll have about 80, 85 guys, and that's really a good number for us.
Well, let me tell you, that's one thing that I've noticed,
Yeah.
and it's a compliment to you and your staff. 2 things. Number one, the numbers have picked up,
Yeah.
and number 2, their strength.
Yeah.
Because you must have a heck of a weight program going, because when I first started watching those teams, one of my things that I noticed was just couldn't push people off the line of scrimmage. Just
Right.
couldn't do it.
Well, we've really devoted a lot to our strength and program, and that's one thing that when my first mandatory weightlifting event happened, my first year at Dunbar, I think like 7 people showed up, and you had to start creating incentives, and because we don't have in-school weightlifting, we don't have 0 hour, we don't have any of that stuff. It's old-fashioned, after school we meet at the weight room and we work for 2 hours. And so I tied that to some incentives for those kids. If they were there 90% of the time, they got to pick their number in their locker for the next year when we started spring ball. Well, then everybody came.
Yeah.
Because that was extremely important.
Because they wanted that number.
They wanted that number and they wanted the locker.
Absolutely.
So, when you started tying real legit things in that they really cared about, it started to mean something a little bit. And now we'll have, 60 guys in there in the winter. And very rarely have people miss.
Well, I've noticed that you've changed the culture there at Dunbar. I talked to a lot of coaches. The coaches last night told us that, especially Hawkins at Bryan Station, Philip said that he had to sort of instill a new culture at Bryan Station.
Yeah.
Now they got 100 kids out for the football team. That's what it's all about. You got the numbers to compete with the Trinities, the St. X's, and the males.
Yeah, and that's really... one of the things that we're trying to do is build those kind of numbers. I don't know if we'll ever have 100. I just don't. I don't know if our feeders, the way we're set up, I just don't see 120 kids coming or 110 kids. But for us, 95 would be great. 90 would be good. But I'm really, really happy with 80.
Yeah.
I think it becomes a practice problem when you have a whole lot.
Yeah.
And you got too many kids standing around, people not really participating. And how can you play 70 JV kids in a JV game the last 10-minute quarter? I mean, I don't know how those coaches get everybody in. And, one of the problems that you will never have at Dunbar is that we don't play enough. What I hear is maybe they play too much. And that's a good problem to have with kids that have too much playing time rather than none.
Let's talk about your quarterback.
Okay. Yeah. So actually, we have two. Right now we have Ethan Teal. He's a 6'5" junior. Really just a
good size.
Very good size.
Yeah.
Great pro style quarterback. And he'll deceive you in his running ability. We have Cole Colony, who was the quarterback last year.
Yeah, I remember him.
He's moved to some running back for us because he's such a multi-tool guy. He can run, throw, catch. He can do it all. And so we'll move him around quite a bit. So we have kind of a dual-headed monster back there, to be honest. Ethan will be probably the day one starter. Where Cole will be that running back for us. And then, there's nothing that we can't play Cole to and do a little more running with the quarterback back there as well. So we have really a good situation in two guys that can really play football.
Who you got catching the ball?
Well, we have a good fleet of receivers. We have some seniors, Jacoby Biggerstaff, Noah Chapman. We have Jaden Commodore, who moved over from Bourbon County.
I know him well. He played good at Bourbon County over there.
Right,
yeah,
that's right. Yeah, we remember.
So he's come over for us. We have Trey Berry, who's going to be a junior as well there, and so we have a little bit of depth there at receiver. But I tell you, the big thing is we have size at receiver.
Yeah.
I mean, Jacoby is 6'2", Trey's 6'3". Those kids are just big on outside. And then our slot receivers, I mean, Jaden's on the small side, but he's quick. Noah Chapman is 5'10", but he's 195. I mean, he's a load to bring down. And once he catches the ball, he's very. And we have a real athletic kid as well, Jose Kazadi. Jose is be a senior for us, and he plays more defense than he will offense. But now he really is an explosive offensive player.
I bet Ryan Timmons does a really good job with that receiving core, making sure those guys do everything they're supposed to, like he did at UK.
Well, and that's the thing. And I was down there today just watching them do working with the receivers, and it's everything they did at UK in terms of footwork drills and really concentrate on running routes correctly, and even down to the stances every single time. It's when you see us play, our receivers are going to be disciplined in their technique, and that's a really credit to Ryan in working with those guys and really fine tuning their skill.
Are they going to block?
Oh yeah, and they'll block.
I asked every coach, and they said, "Oh yeah, they'll block."
Yeah, they'll block.
What about your tight end position? You got a tight end.
We play. We'll put some guys with their hands down a little bit, but not much. I mean, we'll kind of throw them in there every once in a while.
Well,
our guys will, bigger guys will go down there and play tight end. We don't have a special, player for that.
What I always say, Coach.
Tight end's always open.
That's right.
That's what he always said. Well, let's go defensive side now.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about your defense.
Well, defensively, we're really led by a fifth-year senior for us, Mason Hazlett. He's kind of the heartbeat of our group. He was going to be a young senior, and in that COVID year reclassified as to do his junior year over again. And he was the youngest kid in the class, and now he's with kind of more his kids that are his age now that he'll graduate with. But he could play any position on the field and be great. He's probably got the greatest football knowledge on the team. Just really understands the game and really gets our guys in position on the field. He's a coach on the field, and that's really good to have, when that happens. Our defensive line, we'll have, we'll rotate 6 to 8 guys up there. We've been really blessed over the last 3 years to really have a stable of defensive linemen that can be fresh. And so, we'll have Trenton Berry, Terry Tinsley, Laquan Greer, Manning Baker, Ethan Hampton, Niall Bailey, those guys. Even Kendall will come over and play a little nose guard at times.
If you need him,
he's a big boy. But he's he's a good. He loves offense, but he'll come over and stuff some run and get excited about it. So we have good guys there. And at linebacker, we have Ryan Browning and Mason. We have Laz Bowman. Jose Kazadi plays inside for us. So we're a 3-5-3. So it really suits what we do because Dunbar, when I got there, I looked around and we didn't have big guys. We had some nice size guys, but the depth of the line was my concern. And so our defensive ends will be really athletic, almost tight end type looking guys.
Yeah.
And then we'll have a nose that'll anchor it down. But we have 2 safeties, Kyan Miller. We have 4 we'll rotate in, but Kyan Miller, really good outside linebacker, 6'3", about 190. Colton Turlington, who's be a junior for us, just a really hard-nosed kid. He'll play our weak side linebacker. Our secondary will be Desmond Duncan. We'll have Grant Angel play there. Jacoby Biggerstaff will play there. Caleb Nelson will play there. So we have a lot of big rotation there for them.
It sounds like your second level is going to be fast.
Yeah.
You'll be running that 5 thing.
Well, and that was the comment of some of the coaches on Friday, actually, after we played was, they were commenting how our defense was very athletic and very fast to the ball. And, that was good to hear from other coaches, and that sort of thing. So it was good.
What about your special teams? Tell us about your kicker, your punter, your return man, and all that.
Yeah, so all those guys that do the receiving will be they all rotate back there. We've got a lot of guys that can return. Kicker, we have a couple soccer guys that'll come in and kick. So we've always had that. But the funny thing, it's not funny at all. But we had Bethel Green a few years ago. I don't know if you remember our female kicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I have another soccer player, a female soccer player, Skylar Vaught, and Skylar is only going to be a sophomore, and will probably handle a lot of our field goal extra point duties. Very good leg, very accurate. She shows up all the time. She'll be there, on her practice days and that sort of thing to just, get in kicks. So I'm excited to see what she brings to the table.
Excellent. And who's your punter going to be?
So Ryan Browning, actually, one of our linebackers, is a punter, and he actually has really skilled in that position. So he can punt, and also Cole Colony can punt a little bit. He can boom a few too, and he also is our long snapper. So.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, we had a good battery there, to get the ball back quick and out.
Okay, one of the questions that I like to ask there toward the end of the set is
we're going to 7. We're going to do 7:30.
Okay. Oh, good. We can press you a little bit more.
Yeah.
I want to talk about goals.
Yeah.
I know everybody that won goal in the back of mind state championship, but you know as well as I do that your goals kind of change as the season goes on too.
Yeah.
I mean, like one of the coaches we talked about was they wanted to have a strong second half compared to the first half.
Yeah.
And so on. So what is your goals? What are you thinking?
Well, one of our big goals that we have set for our seniors, and we talk about the reset button every year. Dudley Hilton taught me a real good lesson one year. I was at a 7-on-7 with him, and I was standing beside him, and he looks at me and he says, I come in every year and I tell my team, I have to prove this year that I can coach. And you have to prove to me that you can play. And he, that was the first kind of talk that he had with his team.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to that because we try really intentionally to leave the past in the past. And this senior class has been a part of a lot of wins at Dunbar. But they themselves are 0-0 as a senior class. And what legacy are they going to leave?
So you got to prove yourself.
We do. We got to prove it. We got to prove ourselves. And Dunbar has never won 3 district championships in a row.
Got a chance.
And this is our chance to do that this year. So that's one of their goals, is to win a district championship for the 3rd year in a row and bring that to Dunbar. But we also talk a lot about, we kind of talk about the book Chop Wood, Carry Water. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are reading that now and that sort of thing. And really important lessons about, really focusing on the task at hand, doing everything you can daily, and then you have to surrender the outcome. If you don't look at the scoreboard, if you just get your head down and you plow away at what you're supposed to do and do your job as best you can every play, and play every play, as Nick Saban says, like has a mind of its own and our life of its own, and move play to play. At the end of the game, after you've done your best, you can surrender that outcome as what it is. And I think that's kind of what we've done the last few years. We started out 1-4 last year. Again, a very tough schedule.
Yeah.
And it could have killed a lot of teams. That could have been something that was devastating to them. But I think Belfry also started out like 0-6 or 0-5.
Yeah, you're right.
And then wins the state championship. So, we talk a lot about how it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And all my teams, and I think this is a testament to our coaches, we are a much better football team at the end of the season than we are at the beginning. And it's not that we're bad at the beginning. It's that they get better and better as the year goes along, and we finish strong. And that's really kind of been something, that we've hung our hats on.
And you also develop those players too, your assistant coaches and you yourself. It's okay to have good athletes.
Yeah.
And speed.
Yeah.
But you have to develop them as the time goes on. So I've noticed that with your teams, that from their sophomore year to their senior year, they've really improved as football players.
And a lot of that, it goes back to a decision I made 2 years ago to not play a freshman schedule. And, a lot of times that's controversial, and people are like, well, I can't believe you can't play a freshman schedule. Well, I'll have 25 to maybe 28 freshmen come out. My issue is that I'll have 18 wide receivers.
Yeah.
And I have to convince 2 of them to go play tackle.
Yeah.
And they play the whole game,
Yeah.
and they don't want to play the whole game, to be honest with you. And so what ended up happening, I get them hurt, and then I have to convince that other guy to come in and play, and they were all playing out of position, and they just didn't. I didn't see that they were having a good time.
Yeah.
And so I just said, we're gonna, Dunbar is going to be good when we have juniors and seniors playing on the field on Friday night. And those guys better start playing early and get to know each other and be able to play well together. And so when we put those sophomores and freshmen together this year, we play a 10-game schedule. We film it like Friday night. We have film with them, and break down the film with those guys. We treat everything like they're the varsity football team. Because, when I first got to Lexington, a lot of the JV games were canceled. And to me, that didn't make a whole lot of sense because they were the ones that were up next. And you always, Joey Thacker, who was with me last year, always made this comment, hey, coach next year's team, now as well. And so, we do that with those guys. We put a lot of effort into those JV guys. And so they know more, I think, than a lot of the freshman teams we play, simply because we give them attention. And we really put a lot of emphasis on that player development because, I love Dunbar, but we don't get a whole lot of, we don't have a program that, can bring in, some people or, apply for that sort of thing. We don't get a full middle school. In the past it was all Beaumont and Leestown and they all fed in, and now that's not the case anymore. We get about 80% of Beaumont, maybe 20% of Leestown, and in 5 other schools that kind of bleed in to us. And so it's a little bit more difficult, I think, to find your players that are coming to you in the middle school level. It's not as easy to see, oh, well, I've got a feeder school coming up, and all these guys are coming. Even when I go down to Beaumont and talk to them, I've got to make sure the addresses are in my district before I talk to anybody. Because we're going to do it the right way, but we're going to develop our kids, and we don't obviously. I'm not talking about recruiting. When I talk about recruiting, it's recruiting our own.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah,
and we talked about that yesterday with some of the other coaches too about the feeder situation. Whereas like Lexington Christian, they have a feeder all the way from elementary school all the way up.
Yeah,
and you can't do that. And what I ran into, and I'm sure you've seen it too, is you approach the middle school and you ask them to maybe run your system.
Yeah.
They don't want to run your system.
No.
They got kids going there. This is their chance as a coach to do their thing.
That's right.
So you got to still court them. You got to court the kids and so on. Yeah.
So we have a big middle school, our guys, they're coming in that will have a middle school night. And so, we'll kind of make a big deal of it. We'll kind of give them little VIP passes to the game. We'll feed them. We'll give them a tour of the locker room and facilities. They'll be on our sideline. And we put a big deal into making sure that those guys, feel welcome and that they know where they're going. They know that, this is your football team coming up. Next year you guys will be the next to walk in these doors and to keep this thing rolling.
Well, you're doing a great job at Dunbar. Since Mike Meehan was there, he was successful as head coach, and David Hensley was there, Mark Peach was there. But I think you and Mike have done the best job of coaching football at Dunbar. I really do.
I appreciate that.
And I think you're doing a great job. And by the way, we're at Rafferty's. What's your favorite thing to order here at Rafferty's?
Oh my gosh! Well, you can't go wrong with these cheese fries right there. And, the chicken tenders are always really, really good. So this is a great place to eat for sure.
I told you we have something for you, Coach.
Okay, great.
Here's a gift card from Rafferty's.
Nice.
I know your daughter there might want some more mac and cheese.
Oh yeah, we're loaded up right here on the mac and cheese.
Well, we thank you for coming on, and
appreciate you.
It's been great, and we'll see you. We'll try to get you on Prep Spin this year. And
it'd be great.
Looking forward to it. And anything else, Coach? Anything we didn't ask you that you want to talk about?
Not really. I think you guys hit on a lot of it. We're just really excited about this season and what we can turn into. I think that's the thing. We're a team under construction, and it's a lot of fun to see what we turn out to be.
Well, we hope you build a mansion at Dunbar this year.
We appreciate you. Thanks so much.
That's Wes Johnson is the outstanding coach at Paul Ernst Dunbar. And we'll come back, and Doug Charles, I think he'll make his way out here, won't he, William?
He's trying.
Doug Charles is making his way out here and at Rafferty's Restaurant. We also have, tonight we have John Lawson from Lafayette, and we have Chad Pennington from Sarah, and we have Rob Ullery from UK Sports Medicine. Might talk with him when we get back. We'll be back on Prep Spin with the Coaches Preview Show from Rafferty's Restaurant.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We're invested in Kentucky, and more importantly, in you. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people because we're from here. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Same MRI, same CT scan. Same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Kentucky knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Kentucky needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Before cheering on the Cats at Rep, we always make sure to stop at Clark's Main Street Market for all the essentials. Return, refresh, refuel.
Garage a total nightmare? Live the dream with Hello Garage. We're talking flooring, storage, and more, all in just about a day. Call Hello Garage today to make your dream garage makeover a reality.
Hello Garage. Same shoes, same mixer, same computer, same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Welcome back to the Whitaker Bank Broadcast Studio outside of Rafferty's Restaurant. Joining us is Rob Ullery from UK Sports Medicine, Orthopedic Surgery. Rob, we thank you so much for all that you do for the press bin and for the Scholastic Ball Report.
Oh, I think it's a great opportunity to highlight the student athletes throughout Central Kentucky, and I couldn't be more happy and more proud to be a part of it.
You know, it's our 20th season on television this year.
It's hard to believe. We were both just young puppies back in that day.
I know. I was in my 40s. That's no longer. That's before, before a stroke.
Right.
But, when we were talking about this on the Tates Creek football field, what was going through your mind when I was pitching you on the show?
So, I mean, growing up where I grew up in Ohio, these kinds of shows happened all the time. So it was a huge absence in Central Kentucky, having a show to highlight student athletes. And when you brought that information to me 20 years ago, I thought, what a great way to fill that niche, to fill that void that is in Central Kentucky right now, to highlight the student athletes, to highlight what they can do. There's nothing better for a young athlete to see themselves on TV. And it also helps their public speaking skills.
Yeah.
It helps their confidence. I mean, it does lots of great things for them, not only on the playing field, but also as in what they can do public speaking wise.
Yeah, we were talking also about getting these athletic trainers and so on. Run into a little difficulty sometimes, but you have a pretty good field to pull from if you can just fill the position.
It's a hard time of the year right now. Most job openings get filled in the spring. And when things happen this time of the year, people are already set in place. And there's very little movement going on in the month of August and September because everybody's getting set already in their systems, and it's a real challenge right now. We have a great pull from, because all of my athletic trainers are preceptors or clinical instructors for the University of Kentucky and EKU both. So those young aspiring athletic trainers can learn from some of the best athletic trainers out there today. So that's what's advantageous about being a part of that as well.
Well, you mentioned something, you said assistant athletic. I think that's a really important position.
Well, I mean, exactly. And we created those assistant positions a few years ago. And what it has done is allowed my staff athletic trainers to have a life. I mean, when I was at Tates Creek back in the early 90s, my wife was a single parent. I was working all day, every night, covering every event. And as we've gotten busier and more sports happening and more athletes participating, it's become a full-time job. And my athletic trainers have said that they need a life. And having the assistants has allowed them to take a night off, go spend time with their families, go spend time with their children. I mean, for example, this past weekend, 2 of my athletic trainers took the weekend off and went to southeastern Kentucky to help with the flood victims.
Nice.
I mean, those things didn't happen in the past because we didn't have that bandwidth or those people to be able to fill in for those types of individuals.
Yeah, Doug Charles, who we'll talk to in a moment, he took his team down to Eastern Kentucky,
right,
and helped out too.
No, and that's a great thing, and that just goes to show that when crisis hits, everybody just pulls together. And I like it back. I mean, you could say what you want to say about Governor Beshear and everything else at the beginning of the pandemic when he said, we're in this together. And that's what it is. We're all in this together from the very beginning. And it shows that when crisis hits, we all come together as one. And I think that shows the true character of an individual, and it shows the true character of a program, and it shows what that person's made of.
Well, go ahead, Coach.
No, go ahead.
Well, we started the show, we decided to stress academics, and a kid has to have a 3.5. You go to any high school in this whole area, and there's 100 kids with the 3 GPAs above that play sports.
Right, no, and that's a great opportunity to highlight those individuals. My daughter was one of the Scholastic Ball Report academic winners, and she's proudly displayed that plaque. She proudly displays it in her classroom as a teacher, that she was a Scholastic Ball Report academic award winner. Right. So, I mean, those things mean a lot to these kids.
And I think also, Gary, with your show, some of those kids may get a little impetus to go into athletic training, maybe.
Well, and they go into a lot of things. I mean, Gary's had a lot of interns that go on into broadcasting. We've had student athletes that go into physical therapy or go into athletic training or go into public speaking of any kind. I mean, this is a great opportunity for young men and women to seek a professional career as they grow up.
Well, we wanted to have you on, Rob, and thank you for what you do, and we really appreciate everything UK Sports Medicine does.
Well, I mean, I was excited when William come and talked to us last winter at the Sweet 16 and talked about the availability and the potential of partnering with Prep Spin and the natural fit between the Scholastic Ball Report and Prep Spin and highlighting the student athletes, especially throughout Central Kentucky, is amazing. And what William has done down in Bowling Green with our Med Center of Bowling Green and some of the new things that we're doing down there in Bowling Green now and some of the high schools that we're taking care of in the Bowling Green and Warren County areas, I think that's just the potential for growth for everybody involved.
Well, good job. Keep it up, and look forward to talking to you down the road, and we just appreciate you.
Yep, thanks a lot, Rob.
I appreciate you guys, and like you said, I'm available anytime to come talk to y'all.
Okay, and Doug Charles, the coach at LCA, is going to join us here in just a moment. We're going to take a break, William?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll step out for a few seconds, come back, talk to Doug Charles. He's the head coach at Lexington Christian Academy.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We're invested in Kentucky, and more importantly, in you. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people, because we're from here. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Same MRI, same CT scan. Same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Kentucky knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Kentucky needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Before cheering on the Cats at Rep, we always make sure to stop at Clark's Main Street Market for all the essentials. Return, refresh, refuel.
Garage a total nightmare? Live the dream with Hello Garage. We're talking flooring, storage, and more, all in just about a day. Call Hello Garage today to make your dream garage makeover a reality.
Hello Garage.
Same shoes, same mixer, same computer, same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
Our adventures always start at Clark's Pump and Shop.
Clark's Pump and Shop. Return, refresh, refuel.
Kids.
And welcome back into the Whitaker Bank Mobile Broadcast Studio here at Rafferty's. Thanks to all you folks for tuning in. And we got Coach Doug Charles. He's from LCA. Needs no introduction. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. It's that time of year. We had just got off the practice field, and school starts tomorrow. So I asked our guys before I left tonight, I said, promise me, guys, surprise me tomorrow. Give me a good football practice the first day of school. You know what I'm talking about.
That never happens.
You know what I'm talking about.
That never happens.
So thank you all for having me.
UK said that. Said they had a good first day, first time in a long time. UK said that.
Well, that never happened. First day of school and picture day. I hate those. I hated those days.
We got that out of the way last week.
Oh.
Well, Coach, how does your schedule shaking out this year?
Well, we've got quite a schedule. I mean, you look at, we open up with Madison Central, who was, Final Four in 6A last year. Had St. X on the ropes in the first half, 21-7 down there to go to the state championship, and they returned just about everybody. And of course, Coach Holcomb, Coach Hensley, and those guys do a great job. And they, I'm sure we're circled on their calendar, and we've got a very, very early a big test down there again. It's the second year of a bowl deal, so we're playing down there. So, we'll find out a little bit of something to gauge where we are, and you don't win state championships in August and September, but if I had my druthers, I'd rather not start with such a young, inexperienced team against a veteran team. It returns a lot of people that we've beaten in the last 2 years. So, they're going to be ready for us. It's going to be a big task.
But you scrimmaged a team last Friday that's got a lot of experience back, and you a lot of but you found out a lot about your team that night. You played Bryan Station really tough.
Yeah, it was. Our guys. We've got a lot. We lost 80% of our production on both sides of the football. We had a lot of our key guys, and we give you a story. We have 9 of our 16 seniors that graduated are playing next level, and 5 of them Division I. So, those guys aren't coming through the locker room anymore. And our approach to coaching this year, we knew that we had some good reserves and guys that had put the work in and taken care of their bodies. But they haven't played in those primetime games, when it really, really matters. But we were pleased. Our scrimmages are really just a gauge for us to be able to measure and be able to get some stuff on film and be able to have competition against somebody with a different colored jersey on is always important. Bryan Station is loaded with athletes and size and strength, and they've got all the intangibles to be a really good football team. So. We like to play people. You talk about our schedule, Gary. Our first 6 weeks. Think about this schedule. Then we go as soon as we finish with Mercer, we go to play in the Rebel Bowl against Mercer County. As soon as we play at Madison Central, then we go to Mercer, and then after that we have Belfry at home. Hopefully to start the first game of our artificial turf that is being installed.
Right, the Belfry game we're going to be at this year, Prepsman, as a Prepsman game.
Well, good. That should be a festive environment. It's on September the 2nd.
Yep.
Then we come right after that. We play Cal, Christian Athletic.
And I saw we're the number 1 in the state.
Yes, they're preseason. Them and Paducah Tillman and Belfry are 1, 2, and 3. Wherever you look at it, Madison Central's in the top 3 in 6A, and then after that we go to we play Lexington Catholic,
game we've got right here.
Going. Yep, that'll be another one, and then the game after that we go play Pikeville, who's number 1 preseason in the single A.
Who I know you don't like playing.
Yes,
I know you don't like going.
Yes,
I know
Pikeville.
You like going to Pikeville.
Oh, that's my DNA.
Yeah,
that's my DNA. But yeah, we'll be going down there. A packed deal. So our first 6 weeks are just, I don't know if there's anybody. Every team we played, with the exception of Mercer, is in the top 3 preseason in their respective class. So, we're definitely going to be have our hands full.
Yeah, and Mercer, they're going to be pretty decent in the years to come.
Oh, sure. Yeah. There's no question. We're going to get. We understand this too, Mike. We get everybody's best shot.
Oh yeah.
We're going to, it's a big game, and we like to play on the big stages, and with the guys, the success we've been able to have, and I've been fortunate to do. And then when you go and you get a few, high-level guys that find their way there at our place, then that just goes up a little bit more. So we'll be, there'll be a lot of tickets sold at some of our games this year, I can assure you.
One of the things that I've noticed about your teams since you've been the coach there is the amount of development that your players have through the course of the time there. So would you talk a little bit about your assistant coaches? I know, that's
well, I'm glad you segued into that, because we're unique in the sense that, and you've been at LCA, so you know what I'm talking about here. We have, I've been a part of LCA for 23 years. I sent 2 kids, K through 12, through there, and then I've been volunteer coaching there for 13 years now. So, and then I have 2 boys that we've adopted. I've got a kindergarten and a 3rd grader at LCA now again. So I'm recycled again. Somebody asked me the other day how old I was, and I said, a smart man told me one time, he said, he asked me this question. He said, how old would you be if you didn't know when you were born? That's good. So in my mind, I'm young, okay? But we have all of our coaches, and I've had the same staff for 4 years. That's unique in its own right. And on top of that, we're all paraprofessionals. None of us work in the building. But yet we have 30% of every boy walking the hall on our football team. So, we do a really good job of going down deep in our program, getting the youth stuff right. But from a varsity staff, I know a lot of coaches talk about this, and I'm sure that they're very genuine and sincere about it. But when I look at our staff, everything we do from an off-season, strength and conditioning, Coach Pete Barnhart does a really good job with that, takes a lot of pride with that. But, I look at our offensive coordinator, I look at Oakley Watkins. Oakley could be a head coach at anywhere. I mean, the guy is absolutely an offensive genius. I mean, he can scheme. He can, and this gives you a perfect example of that. So last year, you may recall, our starting quarterback Drew Nevis got hurt in the Madison Central game, and in a 3-day period, he installed a completely new game plan with Mason Moore, who had played quarterback since he was in middle school. And we went up to Boyle County and were able to get a win up there in a tough environment. And we ran the ball 58 out of 61 reps. And he installed a completely new offense centered around him. And so that gives you what type of talent he has. Evan Wright, who takes care of our receivers. Evan's been at LCA 7 or 8 years. Oakley has as well. And then you've got Morgan Newton, he used to play at University of Kentucky, played in Carmel, Indiana. He's our quarterback's coach. He does a great job with that. Tommy Craig is our offensive line coach. Tommy's been with me even back in the youth day. Tommy's been around me 12, 15 years, Lamont Brown, Xavier's dad and Evan's dad, he's our running backs guy. So, on the offensive side, we're really, really sound in that regard. Defensive, we've got Marty Moore. Most people know who Marty Moore is.
Yeah, I covered him in high school, Marty Moore in Highlands.
Yeah.
Coach, that guy would knock your helmet off. He was unreal.
He still will. Okay. Marty is, played 10 years in the league, and just a great story, a great guy. Marty and I have been together for a long time, and he helped me in middle school when I was back there. So Marty's our coordinator, and he's back. Even though Mason's graduated, Marty's back.
He's up at Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, Mason's at Miami of Ohio and doing well. And then you take, our John Johnson does a really good job with our linebackers and secondary. Jason Ferguson, I tell you, he's a kid that used to be at Lafayette, and then he went to Eastern. Jason's been at LCA 7 or 8, 9 years. He's as good a secondary coach as I've been around. He's got a great demeanor. Kids love him. Does a great job. Logan Kendrick, he works with our defensive line. He and Pete Barnhart. Matty LeBrick, who used to play for us a couple, 3 years ago.
Remember him.
He's joined us now on our staff. Then I've got Brett Setzer. You all may know Brett. Brett has joined our staff too. So, we've been able to add it. Justin Morris is our director of football operations. I think I've named them all. I think I've listed them all. Tommy Craig Jr., who I coached from 4th grade to 6th grade, who played at K-State, he's also my tight ends coach this year. So we've got some guys, same guys.
I tell you what, from listening to all the coaches coming on, they got great staffs, Coach Meehan. Great staffs.
They have great staffs, and they count on those guys a lot,
Well, I tell you, we have, first of all, the brotherhood in our coaches' room is really strong. We understand each other. You spend more time with them really than you do your loved ones if you really think about it.
Yeah.
The amount of waking time, because if we're not at practice or whatever, we're game planning. The amount of film that's watched, the Sunday night Zoom calls that we have, putting our game plans together and talking about personnel and those kind of things. It's just an immense amount of time, but there's no way that I could do this without those guys. I mean, they forgot more about the details and the intricacies of their position. But you know what I learned? I ask you guys a question. What do good coaches want to do, Well, most people will say, well, they want to win. But I'll tell you what else they want to do. They want to coach. Yeah. They don't want to come in and put the time in and do all the stuff and do all the indie drills and get the guys ready and and then me get on the headset on Friday night and start overruling them and tell them what they can't do. You know, I'm just smart enough to get out of their way, okay, and let them do what they do. They take care of our player rotations. You know, we just got a really, really good sideline decorum, the way we coordinate and get along. The only thing they know, I will absolutely lose my mind if one of them calls a timeout. I am a clock management bandit, you know, and I don't. Nobody calls timeouts but myself. Bro.
Don't call timeout. No.
Yeah, let's go ahead and, since we talked a little bit about defense, let's go defense first. Talk a little bit about your defensive football team.
Well, you know, historically we've been a pretty aggressive football team. You know, we're generally one of the leaders in the state in sacks, and you know, we're kind of a high risk kind of a defense where you know, we just try not to give up the long ball. You know, historically what we hope teams will do, and you being a former coach and you being around the game, Gary, you know, historically it's hard for teams not to get behind the chain because of a penalty or a turnover or, you know, just defensive stops. So, you know, if teams can go out and execute against us and sustain 10 or 12 play drives, which sounds good on paper, but it's kind of hard to do, you know, night in and night out.
School, very hard.
Yeah. So, you know, we just try not to give up to make them earn what they get. You know, if they get it, then so be it. We'll get up there and play a little offense. But, you know, we try to bend but don't break and be some high risk and send pressure. Every year is a little different. Again, we're going to have 5 or 6 new guys. We've got 3 of our 4 linebackers we're replacing. We've got an offensive lineman we're replacing and 2 secondary guys we're replacing. So schematically, we're going to be kind of similar in what we do, but I will tell you this. This is the biggest, deepest team that I've been around at LCA. We are physically a big team. You know, we don't, historically, if we had, out of a 50-man roster, if we had 8-9 guys that were over 6'1", that was an unusual thing. And now, you know, of our 50-team roster, half our guys are 6'2" or taller. You know, our O-line, I go 6'3", 270 across the front.
Not to mention your quarterback who's 6'5".
Yeah, our quarterback's 6'5", barefoot, and you know, so, you know, and those are things, you know, offenses are different, and you know, we're going to do a lot of the same stuff, but we'll have different tags and different things because at LCA, just like a lot of schools, our staff is so good at diversity and being able to figure out. We don't just cram, this is what we run, and then you're going to run it. We look at our personnel and say, what are we best suited for? And then we tailor an offense and put in wrinkles that highlight their strengths. So, you know, we're going to be a little more tight end centric this year from a standpoint. You know, we've got 4 or 5 guys that are 6'2", 200, 215, physical, can catch the footballs. They're going to be able to help us some and some of our overhang stuff.
Tight end's always open.
That's right. As Gary always says that. Tight end's always open.
Always open.
Always open, yes.
What are a few defensive players that when we do the game that we should keep an eye on?
Well, you've got, you know, I think we've got 2 of the better secondary guys in the state that are returning. You've got Evan Brown, who is Xavier's younger brother, and Xavier's gone. Well, he's not truly living in Xavier's shadow anymore. But, you know, Evan's going to be a player for us on both sides of the football in the receiver position. But, you know, he was a lockdown corner last year for us. He's long and rangy and athletic and got great ball skills and has really, really gotten better over the offseason. His leadership's improved. So we're expecting a big year from Evan. Parker Cheney on the other side is a junior, and he's a 3-year starter.
He had a touchdown for you in the championship game.
Yes, he is, and he's a really, really,
really good.
You know, good on both sides of the football. He's just one of those guys. You know what they look like, and they're going to compete every rep. And you know, so he is a guy that's going to play, you know, back in corner some and some in the safety position. We'll move him around a little bit. So, you know, secondary-wise, we've got those guys, and then we've got some younger guys that'll be back there that'll learn that as we got Nate Barnhart, who has, you know, he's gained 35 pounds, and you know, last year he was, 155, 160. Now the kid's 190 and moves well. He's got great ball skills. He's going to help us on both sides of the ball. He'll play some back there in the safety position. So we've got that. And then in returning, our linebacker that is returning is Will Nichols, and Will started for us last year. But the other three we had to replace. So,
and big replacements.
Yeah, I mean, you got Jeffrey Selby, who's at Murray right now, and Jeffrey was a 3-year starter and played meaningful minutes as a freshman on both sides of the football, and so had to replace. And he was also the quarterback. He got everybody where they're supposed to be. He didn't get a 35 on the ACT or whatever it was. It was a high number.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid real cerebral and just a player. But, Major Brown, who is going to be a junior, we've got a huge junior class. We've got 22 kids in that junior class, and those cats can play. I mean, that's maybe top to bottom the best class we've ever had at LCA. Keep that bunch together. But Major Brown at middle linebacker will likely lead us in tackles. I've been coaching since he's in 4th grade, and he's an absolute tackling machine and fearless.
We'll keep an eye on that guy.
You watch Major Brown, I
watch
promise
him.
you. And he's another kid that's 200 pounds, and he's bringing it. He's coming to the party with bad intentions every time.
Yeah.
And then we've got Will Bivens is another kid that's 6'3", 210, 215. Rangy, big, athletic, can play. He got good ball skills, real cerebral, another real smart kid, kind of Ivy League kid. And then we've got Hunter Adams, who's going to be a freshman. Going to be a sophomore this year. And Hunter is, when you see a guy show up, you just kind of know. They just say, he's got it. And somebody say, well, what is it? And I said, well, all I can tell you is I know it when I see it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And he's got it.
He's got it.
All right. So, he played last year, special teams, got a lot of minutes for us. And he was, the kid's 6'3", 215, and he is bringing it. And he's already been offered by Kentucky. He will get more offers. He just got to learn how to play within the scheme instead of realizing you're not supposed to make every play. Yeah. Okay, you make your play.
Your job.
Speaking of special teams, how's that looking for this year, the special
Well,
teams?
of course, we lost a 4-year starter in Andrew Dobbs, who is a Saturday kicker in my view. He's going to UK right now. I suspect that he will walk on there at some point in time. I think he's definitely got next level talent with his leg. I mean, he's just a really, really good guy that we're really going to miss. But we got Will Howe that's kind of filled that role this year. He's a junior. Will's leg isn't quite as strong as his, but Will's getting really good at position kick and sky kicking, and we'll look a little bit different in that regard. I don't think you'll see as many balls flying through the back of the end zone that you did last year, last couple of years with Dobbs. But I think we're going to be sound because, frankly, last year there were times that I would tell Andrew Dobbs, I'd say, hey, Dobbs, I don't want this one in the end zone. I want this one on a 5-yard. I want to try to pin them deeper. Because we got some war daddies, that are ready to go down there and have a little fun.
Your kickoff team, they get mad every time they're sprinting down there. And oh man.
Yeah, you're right, Coach. Now, from a defensive line, we return Jay Emerson, he'll be playing a lot for us at 5 technique defensive end. Jay's 6'1", 225. He also is going to be our feature running back this year, so we're going to have to limit his defensive reps.
Was it Riff? The kid
Riffle. Jeremiah Riffle. He has gone back to West Virginia. He had some family things, some health issues with his grandmother, but certainly wish him the very best as well. But Jay is going to be, I'm just going to tell you, Jay is at times unblockable. I mean, he is a problem for people. And then you got our 3-year starter, Johnny Bruce Drake. When Johnny Bruce Drake gets off the bus, he's not going what you'd call pass the airport test. But when it comes down to putting pressure and making big plays, his motor never stops, and his moves, and he can figure. He's always at the scene of the crime somewhere. I mean, he's always there. So
that's contagious, Bob.
Yes, just that energy and go. And we've got some big guys. I mean, we've got some big guys that, we think that are big and physical enough to command double teams and kind of keep those guards off our linebackers. And, we've got some of those guys this year as well. So, I think, because, Garrison McKinney, who's also one of our offensive linemen that's already been offered by EKU, he is also going to play nose guard for us. So we've got a good rotation in that defensive line. Hayes Preston's a sophomore. He'll get some minutes in there as well. Chase Couch, Tim Couch's son, Tim, he's changed his body in the offseason. He's picked up 50 pounds of muscle, and he's already, 6'4", a big kid, and, his best football's ahead of him, and he'll be playing a lot of five technique for us. So, we like to have about 8 guys in that D-line rotation, and we got a real good D-line room, and I feel really good. I actually think that room could really, they have the opportunity and the ability to really, really set the tone for us defensively.
Coach, the last couple of years, you got all the way to the state championship.
Yes.
You played Beechwood.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to get back to that game because I know you guys got something to finish. What do you take from those 2 seasons to make sure you have a successful 2022?
Well, football is kind of a microcosm of life, and some of the very best lessons in life you can learn through the game of football, and how long it is, and the overcoming injuries, and depending on others. Just that there's just so many attributes that this game teaches us. Now, I don't know what the good Lord has, what lessons that He wants us to learn from 2 really tough losses on some big stages. We lose. We hadn't had an extra point blocked all year. The year before last, we get one blocked in overtime to lose to Beechwood, and then last year, minute 36 in the game, we didn't get off to a good start, and dug ourselves a 20-0 hole, but we came out second half as a good team will, and
fumble recovery was huge.
Yeah, and got this thing back, and we're up. We're up, and we kind of, the third and most of the fourth quarter dominated that thing, and then they got down there and got a field goal, a 36-yard field goal with minute 36 to go.
Barely got over.
I'm telling you, if it had been a 37, I'm not sure she'd have gotten there, Gary.
I tell you, I was at the game.
But if you remember the year before, at the end of regulation the year before last, Dobbs gets out there for a 48-yard field goal that could have been a 65-yarder. He hits, over half up the upright and hits the left crossbar, and it hits the left upright, and then comes down and hits the crossbar, just to make sure we really got the message, give us that, the old crossbar deal. But, the ball didn't fall our way, but here's what I tell our guys. If I have, we did everything that you would ask a coach in a team to do, ask coaches and teams to do, to put yourself in a position to be successful and to win a state champion. And that's our ultimate goal, and as many teams, that's our ultimate goal. But what I told our guys was, I said, I am not. Of course, Terry Johnson, our athletic director, came to me.
We love Terry.
After the first game, and he put his arm around me after I left the media room, and he said, "Coach, I'm so sorry." He said, and I said, he said, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Terry, I'm fine." I said, "That's what you get for hiring an old man to be the head coach." I've lived a little life, okay, and I put things in perspective. I said, I got 55 guys in that locker room that are hurting right now, and I got to find the right words. But at the end of the day, what it really comes down to, guys, is if we're so shallow that I'm going to, and us and our program are going to allow the outcome of a football game to define us, then I have absolutely failed miserably as a leader of our football program. You're going to win some games that maybe you shouldn't have won. You get a call go your way, a ball go your way. It's a football game. It is a game. It is an entertainment. And as long as they can look each other in the eye and themselves in the mirror when it's all over with, and they gave everything they got, and we're not robots. These are kids, okay? And it's football. So, we get back on the horse, and and I told our guys, we have a custom that when our games are over, we sing victory to Jesus, victory in Jesus. And I said, guys, we lost a tough game. Now let me tell you, it's easy to that a boy and high five and hug and all that stuff when you're on top of the mountain. And we was on top of the mountain last year 14 times. We hadn't lost, okay? And I said, but really what defines your character is how you handle it when the outcome doesn't come your way, Do you really believe that? Is your culture really your culture, or is it just something you slap on a T-shirt?
Yeah.
What are you?
So, well, Coach, we really appreciate you coming on the preview. We've enjoyed your insights, and you do a great job at LCA, and we'll look forward to covering your team this year.
Well, I'm excited. I don't know what the future holds. I know that our young man has really, really worked hard. We've got some new kids in that I felt like they're drinking water through a fire hose here in the last little bit, trying to figure out, to get up to speed, flatten this learning curve. But glad you're back, and your health. I can tell it's better, and you just get better with age. Good to see you, Coach. Glad to have you guys back. What you guys do is important and meaningful, and I don't know where we'll be at the end of the year, but I know that there's more important things in a football game. We're going to give it our very best, and I like what's in our bus.
Yeah.
And we'll have some lessons to learn, and hopefully by this time next year, I'll be able to reflect on what we learned this year.
Well, your bus has got a lot of good kids in it. That's the main thing. They're good people.
Yep.
So thank you, Doug Charles of LCA. We'll come back. We'll talk to John Lawson, head man of Lafayette Generals, get his thoughts. Oh, yeah, one more thing, Coach. I almost forgot. Here's your gift card from Rafferty's. What do you like? What's your favorite thing on the menu?
I like that prime rib, man. You can't beat that prime rib, man.
That's our favorite.
That creamy horseradish.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I got to get it medium rare now.
Absolutely. Pittsburgh rare for me.
There you go. Well, see, I think it's almost sinful to do it any other way. Myself.
That's Doug Charles. He's just a terrific coach at LCA. We'll come back, talk to another good coach, John Lawson. We go back, way back, John, at Lafayette High School after this timeout on Press Spin.
Great job. Thanks.
Kids deserve the space to grow, to play, to explore. And if they get sick or hurt, they deserve a hospital devoted to them. This is our promise, the most advanced care possible, with doctors, nurses, therapists, and surgeons who specialize in getting kids back to simply being kids again. We are UK Healthcare's Kentucky Children's Hospital. And for us, the power of advanced medicine is more than saving lives, it's saving lifetimes.
Is your garage a total nightmare? It's time to live the dream with Hello Garage. Imagine pulling into your garage with a beautiful durable floor coating, super strong customized storage and organization. We're talking a total garage makeover, all in just about a day, and all from Hello Garage. Call Hello Garage today for your free estimate and make your dream garage a reality.
Hello Garage.
They say that being a Kentuckian makes you unique. At Whitaker Bank, we agree. We've always been unique. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people because we're from here. Kentucky owned, Kentucky based, always has been, always will be. Yeah, you could say we are a unique bank, and we're proud of it. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We know you need banking to be fast and easy. We help with personalized services like mobile deposit. Get the app today and snap, deposit. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Don't forget to pack 5 pairs of clean underwear.
Okay, Mom!
What's wrong with these? I think we're gonna need a bigger suitcase.
This is a Mingy moment.
Prep Spin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of Prep Spin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson, Sims, and Commode, PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White, Greer, and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report, celebrating 20 years on TV.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.
And welcome back to the Whitaker Bank mobile studio here at Rafferty's Restaurant. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Press Spin Football Webcast Preview. Want to introduce to you, of course, John Lawson, the coach at Lafayette High School. Welcome in.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you having me on.
Talk to us a little bit about your schedule you got this year at Lafayette.
Well, our schedule is jam-packed. We have some quality teams, especially the first 3 teams we play. State-bound teams, well-coached teams, got great athletes on there. Looking forward to the challenge of going against those teams and really seeing where my team is at this point.
Have you had a scrimmage yet?
No, sir. We actually have our first scrimmage this Friday against Bourbon. So we'll be traveling there on this Friday to go challenge them and see how we are and really measure where our team is with the little bit of time that we've had to spend together.
Are you playing in a bowl game this year?
Yes, sir. We are playing in the Fayette County Bowl at Lafayette High School. We will be playing Johnson Central and Henry Clay will be playing Connor at that time. So it's going to be a great event at Lafayette High School. So I hope all comes out to attend.
That sounds like a good package right there. Real quickly, one of the things that I know that's important to you, important to me when I was coaching, is your assistant coaches, your staff.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk a little bit about your staff?
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a transition when I first took over because I knew I had some staff left over from last year's team, but also knew there were some guys that I had coached with in previous years that I would love to bring back to be a part of my staff. Guys that I trusted and I knew that knew a lot about football. So basically, just starting with my coordinator, Coach Matthews. This is his second run with Lafayette. When we went to the state championship back in 15-16. He was our coordinator then. He came back last year. He was the coordinator last year for the team, and he's continued that role now for us as coordinator, as well as my assistant head coach, Bailey. Coach Bailey is my defensive coordinator. He also is a guy that was with us a few years back that also came back. He's traveled from Woodford County and a few other places, but he's finishing up his degree, and he is back with us as well. So he's my D coordinator. I got a couple other guys that have come back as far as from other schools. You know, we've been kind of switching out with some coaches. So I picked up Coach Irby that coached at Henry Clay last year. I brought back Coach LaRon Clark, which also coached us back in the day on the state run that we had. Then I got a couple new coaches. I got Coach Atkins that's been out for a couple years, but he coached with us at one point, but he came back. He's going to be my D-line coach. I got Coach Lehman that also coached at Douglas last year. That's going to be our running backs coach this year. Then I also have Jalen Lawson, my son. He's come out to be one of my linebacker coaches as well as a freshman coach. And Coach Serafini and Coach Miss Tasha both have been on the program for many years now in some capacity. So Mr. Serafini is going to be my freshman coach, as well as a lot of my logistics. And Miss Tasha just handles everything.
Yeah.
Coach, your style of coaching, what will you bring to Lafayette? You think your style, and are you defensive minded or offensive minded? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I'm definitely defensive heavy on as far as my knowledge and where I like to be. The intensity and the game, the fast pace of playing defense and getting to the ball is where I like to be. That's where I've spent all of my time at Lafayette. Technically, is on the defensive side of the ball. So I have a lot of hands-on in that area there. But overall, my job as the head coach is to make sure the intensity of the practice and the flow of the practice is where we need it to be to make sure we're completely prepared for games on Friday night.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's a good skill for you too, because what I know about you is you're pretty intense at times. So I think that'll work out just fine. Well, since you mentioned defense, let's talk about defense real quick. Talk a little bit about your defensive personnel or the positions where you're strong at, and just things that we can look at when we watch you play.
So one of the general things that's going to happen throughout our conversation this evening will be the fact that I have a very raw team, a very inexperienced team. So even with my defense, I only have about 3 or 4 guys that have come back that have played a little bit. A couple of them started last year, but most of them just got a couple reps here and there. So I think those guys are going to help us out a lot. We have Des Hanley and Felix Brady. They're both playing linebacker for us. Henry Hungs will come back and play a little bit of D-line for us. We got a couple guys that they're going to fill in some gaps, but I think on our second level is going to be the strongest area of our defense.
Okay.
And our D-line's got a little bit of growth to go, and our secondary is just, they're athletic, but they're just young. They're just raw, and they still got a lot to learn with a lot of reps.
Well, Coach, you and I were talking about it. I think you got a 2-man battle going on for quarterback, but I think you've kind of settled on a baseball kid, haven't you?
Well, yes, we're leaning towards our baseball kid right now.
Okay. If you're not settled, that's great. Just
yeah.
I'm just curious, as a media person, I always want to know who the leader of the team is, the quarterback.
Absolutely. Again, we go back to the fact that I have 4 brand new quarterbacks, and one guy is a baseball guy, which we had a pretty good arm on there, and we have 2 guys right now really battling for that position. One's a sophomore, one's a junior. It's really going to come down to what happens in this scrimmage on Friday. We're going to give them both equal reps, and we're going to see what both of them can do under pressure against another team.
Yeah.
And obviously after that, we're going to have to give that person solo reps going to that game against Johnson Simpson the following Friday. But right now, they're kind of hanging neck and neck. Kind of know who we want, but at the same time, we're not 100% sure until after that scrimmage.
Well, Coach Meehan and I know Lafayette, when they had Walker Wood, and they had a quarterback, and they had, of course, linemen like Jedrick Wills, and they had running like, they were great back then. They went to state championship, and I'm sure you will help with that team or
Yes,
part
sir.
of that team. So that's why we ask about the quarterback. We know
Yes, sir.
there aren't many Walker Woods of the world, but we know they're out there.
Yes, they are absolutely out there, and I will say both guys that I've been referring to, they have come in with the understanding that they want to be leaders. They've taken on that challenge of trying to be leaders. Their biggest thing right now is just finding the system, understanding the system, getting the rhythm down with their receivers, and understanding what Matthews is throwing at them so they can learn on the run, and that's where they got to go.
Well, we talked to Brian Station coach yesterday, and he was talking about their scrimmage where it really wasn't a test for his quarterback because they had such a quick whistle, and his quarterback's a scrambler, a guy can get away. And he said they'd put a hand on him and blow the whistle, whereas in a real game. So nothing prepares you for a real football game. But you can look at those other things for your quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Eyes, technique.
Absolutely.
How his handoffs are. Is he
Absolutely.
deceptive? All that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. And that's exactly keys that we're going to be looking for. How well he reads the defense, if he can find the open guy at the right time, and just figuring out that time. And so if he can get a few of those things to some of the playmakers that we have, especially maybe in our short game, I think whoever fills that position is going to do a really good job for us.
And Coach, people watching this show, we will make the this public. Your quarantine is over with the COVID.
Yes, sir.
And that's the only reason you're wearing a mask, because that's out of respect.
Yes,
and
sir.
We appreciate it. So we just want to make that clear on the air.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, I thought, he had a handsome face behind there. He wanted to hide that a little bit. But that's all right. That's good. Okay, Gary, his best question. What about special teams? We always want to know about that because we've seen in the years we've been doing prep spin and when we were doing radio too, Lord, games are won sometimes by those kickers and the coverages.
Absolutely. So that is a thing for us. We have searched long and hard to find some kickers.
Did you go to the soccer field?
I've been all over the soccer field. I have a female soccer player as well as a male soccer player.
So does Dunbar. Dunbar's got a female kicker.
Yes, so I have reached on both sides of that to get some people out. We do have one guy that came back from last year, Casey Herr. He's a guy that's kicked for us before, and I do have a new guy that's a freshman soccer guy that's going to help us out a lot. We do have a great special teams coordinator in Corey Lehman. We've put together some great plans with all our special teams. As far as getting that implemented, it's going to take a lot of reps, and we're going to make sure that our kicker puts us in a position that we can be successful at all times.
What about punter?
That one right there we're still kind of working on. We got a couple guys that are trying to fill that slot, but I believe we're leaning towards a basketball guy that has now come out to play football for us. His name is Jack Ackerman. He's got a pretty good leg on him, and a few times we've had him back there. He's got some great distance and some great time on the ball in the air, so I think he's going to end up being our punter.
That's what we like to hear. Just training people, getting them ready.
Get them from everywhere.
All right, one more thing. What about goals? Tell me about what you're going. Everybody down deep has to go to win a state championship, but we've talked to all these coaches the last couple of days, and their goals kind of progress. What they want to do in the season. One coach said, I want to have a strong second half as I had a first half, and so on. What are your goals?
Oh, absolutely. So here, with my crew, our goal has been, first of all, just to change the culture and attitude of our team. It was a little bit off from where I would want it to be as a coach.
Yeah, but Lafayette is not a 2-win team, a 3-win. You're much better athletes and football players than that.
Absolutely.
You know that.
Absolutely. And even with that, if you don't have the right mindset, it doesn't matter how good athletes you have out there. You know what I'm saying? If they're not willing to work or work hard or do things they need to do to be successful, you can have all athletes in the world. I mean, the greatest advantage I have is I have the biggest school in the state of Kentucky to choose from. And I'm using every aspect of it to get every athlete that I can get. I got basketball, wrestling, soccer players. I'm going from everywhere to get them all out there.
I think that's great, Coach.
Yes.
I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely. So just with that being said, I think part of it is just building that culture that they understand what they have to do on the day-to-day to be really successful. And for our team, we were always so defeated, from what I understand last year, because I wasn't there the last 2 years, but based on what the coaches were saying, we were most of the time defeated before we even got out there. So you can't win a game if you already feel like you're going to lose when you step on the field.
Right.
Okay?
That's right.
So that's just not where we are anymore. I got a bunch of guys that have bought in. They want to be there. They're working hard. We're teaching accountability, discipline, and hard work. Now, again, I have a great problem I have. I've gone from 40 guys when I started back in March to 104. Now, I've increased my players, my athletes like crazy. Now, the thing is, they're all brand new kind of guys.
Yeah.
So the good thing about it is they don't have any bad habits. The bad thing about it is they need a lot of reps to get to where they need to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So our goal is to progress every week as a team to get better and better individually. So as a team, we're going to be very good by the second half of the season. Those first 3 or 4 games, we're going to have to fight with a lot of heart to play with those teams. They're great teams that we're about to play, and experienced teams. And those are teams that we really have to learn to fight through at that time. So as long as we fight and continue to work hard throughout that whole game, we're going to learn to be better. And by the second half of the season, we're going to be a great team.
John, I tell you what, I wish you all the luck in the world. I think a lot of you. I think you know that, and I just wish that everything goes well for you. We're going to have the city teams are all getting better and better.
Yes.
And we want
Coach,
Lafayette to be right up there with everybody.
Coach, listen to the schedule. They open up with Johnson Central, powerhouse.
Monster. Where do you play?
At Lafayette.
Oh, that's
at Scott County.
Yes, sir.
And then at Douglas.
Yes, sir.
At Bryan Station.
That's a good one.
And then Clark County, and then Henry Clay at Lafayette, and then Dunbar. I mean, that's a
heck of a
strong schedule.
Yeah, absolutely.
But you got to play the toughest to find out what kind of team you have.
Absolutely, and that's what's going to happen for us. We're going to stay strong as long as we stay healthy and we learn from those games and we compete and do the things that we need to do as a team to be successful. We're going to be great towards the end.
When you come to Rafferty's, Coach Lawson, what's a favorite thing on their menu that you like to get?
I tell you what, I've been dieting for a lot for the last couple of years, so I can't really say for sure my favorite, but I'm going to say these buffalo tenders right here look like they're going to be pretty good for me.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we want to give you a gift card from Rafferty's. There's a gift card for doing the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
I almost dropped the ball, Coach. I tell you, I've been a fumble.
Yep.
Turnover. Keep those turnovers down, Coach.
Yes,
Keep
sir.
those turnovers down. We appreciate you coming on the show. Good luck at Lafayette. We'll see you on Press Spin.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Appreciate your time.
John Lawson, head coach at Lafayette High School, the Generals. We'll come back, and Chad Pennington, head coach of Sayre, he'll wrap up our show, Coach. It'll be the wrap on the show.
It. We've had a good 2 days.
Yeah, we talked to all the coaches, but Sayre, and we'll talk to Chad in a couple minutes. Thank you, Coach Lawson. You do a great job at Lafayette.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more on the Press Spin preview show after this.
Woo.
I can't.
Have some Mingy.
This is a Mingy moment.
Neighbor helping neighbor. At Whitaker Bank, we believe in giving back to our communities. Through our many sponsorships, we help provide our fellow Kentuckians with family-friendly fun and events, and scholarships to help students reach their dreams. We're invested in Kentucky, and more importantly, in you. Whitaker Bank understands our communities and its people because we're from here. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky.
Same MRI, same CT scan. Same items, different prices. So why would you pay more for the same thing? Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI can save you 30 to 60% compared to the costs of local hospitals. We have a state-of-the-art facility in the Lexington area. We believe that every patient deserves the best in affordable, quality care. Avoid surprise billing. Come to Lexington Diagnostic Center. Imaging focused on you.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Kentucky knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Kentucky needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Before cheering on the Cats at Reps, we always make sure to stop at Clark's Main Street Market for all the essentials. Return, refresh, refuel.
Garage a total nightmare? Live the dream with Hello Garage. We're talking flooring, storage, and more, all in just about a day. Call Hello Garage today to make your dream garage makeover a reality.
Hello Garage.
Same shoes, same mixer.
Welcome back to the Whitaker Bank broadcast studio. This is the coach's preview. You see an empty chair there. We're waiting for William Warfield to fill that chair, King of String. We'll talk to him, and Chad Pennington is going to join us in a few moments. And there he is. And King, we got to ask you the coverage this year. How do you feel about it?
Oh man, I think this is going to be our best year yet. I mean, it's hard to top what we've done already, you know, because I feel like we've done a really good job with what we've done. But you know, this year is going to be exciting. I think we got some big games that are lined up, and you know, you two are back, and I think everybody's healthier this year than what we were last year. And I know I certainly wasn't able to do my best last year with my neck and shoulder.
I know. Suffered with
you with what was going on with you and Coach Meehan driving nails in his feet. And, man, we had a lot. We had a lot the last couple of years. A lot have went down that people don't know about, but we stuck with it. That's the thing, man. We kept moving, didn't we?
Yeah, we kept moving. Now, you reached an agreement with the Fayette County. We met with Rob Sayre and Nick Runyon, and they agreed to. What did they agree to?
Basically, you know, we've got a simulcast deal that we've done with them to where we're now allowed to go into a Fayette County public school and broadcast a game as long as we simulcast a game to the NFHS network.
But we already had a schedule put together. We met with them late.
Right.
So how's that going to work?
Yeah, so I mean, we stuck to what we said we were going to do with football. We had to publish our schedule, you know, get it out there for marketing purposes, and you know, just to make sure that you know, we had already had those games lined up, because people don't realize that it does take time, and you got to pre-plan a lot of that stuff. So, you know, from that perspective, we had to go ahead and make sure that we did what we had to do.
So we'll run into some Fayette County teams at away games and so on.
Yeah, we got Henry Clay a couple times on. I can scoot over here a little bit so I'm in that frame, but yeah, we got Henry Clay on a couple times this season, and then you know, we've got 2 weeks that are still open. That it's kind of like, you know, we can choose what we want to choose on those dates. So we need to look at the schedule, and hopefully, I know Coach has been wanting to get over to Dunbar, so maybe Dunbar's got a home game we can get to, or you know, in the past when we've had those 2 open dates like that, we've always went down to Jessamine County and did the East-West game or something like that, you know. So
well, this really will help us, I think, is in basketball, because the basketball schedule can really be Catholic or LCA, and then public school, you know, Tuesday and Friday night, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we get, you know, with all the different basketball games going on, it's not like football where you only have, you know, 1 game a week. and I guess football does play on Thursday and Saturday sometimes, but for the Fayette County schools, they're pretty much on Fridays. I don't think I've seen any on Thursday or Saturday for our Fayette County school, so it doesn't really benefit us now. But basketball certainly will. Soccer would. Volleyball, baseball. Baseball is going to be big because, the past couple of years, as far as the Fayette County schools go, they haven't had any coverage because they don't have the cameras on those fields. So I think that's a big benefit for Fayette County as we're able to now cover some of those games.
Yeah, I've had some people ask me, and I wanted to make sure we talked about this. A couple of coaches want to know, like when we do a football game, explain just quickly how we bring the trailer to the field and how you have camera people. Who do you hire for camera people?
Yeah, so we reach out to UK, to Asbury, and some kids just call us up and say, hey, I'd like to get some experience under my belt. We know we're not ESPN or anything like that, but we try to be, right?
Yeah.
But there is some young kids in our community, college age kids, and even some high school kids that are interested in this field of work, and we're kind of like that step to get them to the next level. I've taken really great pride over the last few years, especially, but I've been doing it ever since I started this thing. Thomas Mims was my first student intern of Woodford County way back in the day, and he turned out to work in sports for a while. Jack Haynes is with the Cleveland Guardians now, so excuse me. But yeah, we've got opportunities here, that's for sure. And helping people get to, in the high school kids too that we cover, helping them get to that next level is what it's all about. Excuse me. Gary Ball.
We've had a lot of help with Rafferty's tonight.
Man,
the last couple of nights too.
Elena's on top of it, man. She's awesome.
Elena's been a big help bringing us food.
He's just a former pro football player too. He played for the Jets. Nothing big. But yeah. He'll be here in just a little bit. His son's gonna be playing for Marshall.
We'll take this out of mine from Scott. Yeah, we're good.
Do you need any more water?
No, I'm fine.
Oh yeah.
And don't leave tonight. Come see us when we get there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You don't have to do that.
Yeah,
we want to.
Do you want me to clean up some of this mess and get some of the trash or anything?
I'll get it.
We're good.
Yeah, I'll get it.
You're dying down in there. Sure.
Positive. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you need anything else.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Elena.
man.
We're still in the air, right?
We're still, yeah.
Chad Pennington, by the way, is on his way, so he should be here momentarily. I just want to let you.
I'm just a fill-in time.
A good fill-in, though, the king of string. I tell you, William, I can't say it enough. The job you do for high school sports, not just football, but soccer, volleyball. You've done volleyball, softball. I mean, the girls would not be covered except for my show and what you do. We make sure we both have daughters, so we make sure we cover the girls.
Yeah. I tell my wife all the time that I said it was meant for me to have a daughter at some point, because ever since we started way back in 2007, I've made it a point to give girls coverage on our network. When we were very first starting out, as CKY Sports, and then when it turned into Prep Spin, and I just feel like if you've ever been to a female athletic event, whether it be soccer or volleyball or basketball, here in the state of Kentucky and all over the place, but especially here in the state of Kentucky and in central Kentucky specifically, we've got amazing female athletes in the state. And for them not to have the coverage would be just wrong. And I'm just glad that we've always had that mindset that if we're going to cover the boys, we've got to cover the girls.
Well, I've heard you got a daughter that's a pretty good baseball player too.
Oh yeah.
She practiced up tonight with the next step up. So they're going to be doing a coach pitch tournament this weekend, and big step up for her. And of course, I coach pitch to her in the backyard all the time. She can easily hit it. I mean, she's really good. She's way above where she's probably supposed to be at her age right now. So I'm pretty proud of that. I give a lot of that to this summer and last summer especially when me and her brother were out there. Peyton, which is my other all-star, my 12-year-old.
A lot of all-stars in your family.
We got two of them, man. Peyton and Gracie, but Gracie's really benefited from Peyton practicing because it went from this. Gracie, get over there and go swing, because we got a swing set in our backyard too, right? So it's, me and Peyton be out there passing or hitting to Peyton or something like, hey, Gracie, get out of the way, go over there and swing. But she was paying attention the whole time.
Yeah.
Paying attention the whole time. And then one day she's like, Dad, can I hit? Okay. All right, we're going to let you hit a little bit. Dad, can I take grounders? Okay. So she paid attention the whole time.
That's awesome.
Just the last part of last summer and then this whole summer has been nothing but just rewarding, man, for me as a father, just seeing them grow in their game.
Well, we Gary and I both talked about not just your effort doing this prep spin stuff, not just your effort, but his brains. We look at his equipment back. Gary and I both looked back at. I said, Gary, what if he doesn't show up? You want to handle that? No.
What do I say? I don't want to do that. I don't know how to do that. Either. I can do play-by-play, but
hey, we've always had this saying, Gary and I, and Coach, about it too, is I make it look good. You guys make it sound great. And that's always been a win-win combo. And I don't think I would be, Prepsman would be as successful as it has been without you two guys doing what you guys do on Friday nights. And, every time that I'm out somewhere, I always get stopped. Two things. Mingy beef jerky. Everybody knows us as Mingy beef jerky. Gary, you get it as well. Hey, you guys got any jerky? Hey, I heard your, Sweet 16, I heard your voice on the Mingy beef jerky commercial, or, whatever it may be. But we're always tied into Mingy beef jerky, right? And then the other thing is Friday night, Mingy beef jerky game of the week. And they know us from that. So that means we're doing our job.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, we've done that very, very well.
Yeah. And we're going to continue to do it, Coach. And, as long as I got breath in me and you got breath in you, we'll do games for King of Stream.
Well, I've had some people, including my wife, say that when she watches the game or when they watch the game, it's like two dudes talking, just enjoying the game because we both love football. So.
You saw ESPN catch on to that because now they got that alternative broadcast.
Yeah,
tell them what the people come in Lex Center. It can your wife's work, what they tell her.
Yeah, Linda, my wife Linda is a visitor specialist at the Lexington Visitor Center, and people come in all the time and they'll want to know what to do, this and that, and they'll come in and say, "Hey, we were in a hotel room and we tuned on a football game." He said, and it was looked like it was all done by a college situation, like a camera work and everything. Yeah. And Linda always throws up a little bit and says, "Well, I know what you're talking about." Yeah. So it's good.
Awesome.
We get that. And then again, the other thing that always mentioned to me is because this is an internet broadcast through several different venues, we have people watching it from all over the world.
Right.
We know we have like granddads and from different parts, different states. We also have people that were deployed at certain. My son watched it from Qatar one time, and my favorite one is that these people in Ghana, in an orphanage in Ghana, actually found us and on the little laptop they had, and they gathered
Wow.
around to watch it. So.
That's awesome. Real quick, as Coach Pennington, I think's right there. My favorite story of how far we reach is this, and that is, I was doing a West Jasmine basketball game. It was Saturday night here in Kentucky, and Sunday morning in Perth, Australia. Well, the no, you're good. Yeah.
Okay.
The parents of the travel team. Hey, it's all good. The parents of the travel team that we were covering, which was an Australian travel team, they were coming in playing all the local high school teams, right? So I'm sitting there broadcasting the game. It's a Saturday night, and these guys are talking to me on a Sunday morning in Perth, Australia. We're doing a live chat. It's like 7 a.m. in the morning, and it's like 7:30, at night here, and except we're a day back, behind.
Right,
so,
yeah.
so that was pretty cool. Being able to interact with those folks and just reaching all the way around the world like that.
That's exciting.
We've
Super.
had 8 coaches on so far, and Chad Pennington will be the 9th and final coach from the Lexington area.
That's right.
And real quick, one more cool story that I'll tell you about. Remember the Lafayette kid that we had, and Coach, you may remember this as well, but his dad was deployed over in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Remember, he said he had 30 minutes to watch a Lafayette game, football game.
Yeah.
And he said he was able to tune in during this 30-minute time that he had to get online and watch the son play.
Well, you do a great job, King of Stream. Keep it up. We're looking forward to this season, and it's going to be a great season of high school football.
I'm excited because, we've got, I think just about everybody in Lexington is going to be on. I mean, at some point, whether it's, football or soccer or volleyball or whatever sport it may be. I mean, we're going to have everybody on this year. I'm excited that the Fayette County thing's worked out now, and Sayre's a big a big thing over there as well, and I know we got over there for a couple games last year, so I'm looking forward to partnering with those guys as well this year, and LCA Lexington. I mean, we got it going on right now.
Yeah,
guys.
it is. We're the only show in town. Let's get Chad Pennington in here.
Yeah, I'm almost get out of here and let the former Jet on.
Coach of the Sayre Spartans, and he'll get in the hot seat over there. Coach, that's a hot seat. It's not like you haven't been in it before.
When you've lived in New York for 8 years, that's a hot seat.
Yeah.
Every day, all day, right?
That's right. Well, this is Chad Pennington, the coach. You're the last coach to come on. We've had all the other coaches on, haven't we?
Yes, sir. We have.
Coach, talk to us about your schedule this year. You and I talked about it on the phone. Looks pretty top-heavy, really.
It is. We've got a really competitive schedule. I think the beginning part of the schedule will be a time where we have a young team, losing 10 seniors as a single A ball club last year. So we're in a mode of really coaching and trying to decrease the gap of our young players and their inexperience, getting them prepared for Friday night. We're facing an Eminence team that lost a really good bunch of seniors last year as well. I think that'll be very competitive. A Fort Knox team that has improved. Wes Arnold's doing a great job there. A Frankfort team with a new coach in the Bourbon Bowl, meaning Beef Jerky Bourbon Bowl, 3rd week of the season. And then we travel to Dayton and to Harlan, which are 2 very tough places to play on the road. Once we come back from there, now we go right into teeth. And we face Williamsburg, we face Pikeville, we face Hazard, we play Paris, and we play Bethlehem. And so, we've got 4 of those teams in the top 10 in the state, and the other teams are right there trying to push through. So very competitive schedule for us, a very difficult schedule because some of these games that we were able to win at home now, we have to now go on the road in 2022.
I was going to ask you about your bowl game, but you mentioned that you're playing the Mingy Beef Jerky Bowl, I think, in Bourbon County, right?
So what happened was Coach Jones called me, and their piece or portion of the Bourbon Bowl got moved to week 4. Frankfort and Sayre could not move to week 4 because we have a conflict. So we're going to play that part of the Mingy Beef Jerky Bowl at Sayre. Frankfort's going to come to Sayre.
Okay.
And so we're going to take care of Coach Atchley and his team program, make sure they're taken care of, and it's going to be a very exciting game.
I got to ask you about a couple people that are near and dear to me that play at Sayre. First kid is Jack Bernard. His dad and I are very good friends. His dad's a vet in town. And the other kid, his dad is my urologist, Dr. Slayball.
Yes.
And you know who that kid can. He's literally going to be key players for this year.
Absolutely. Jack Bernard, a big kid, big lineman, D lineman for us, has really excellent feet. Very quick feet, light on his feet, can move really well, playing right tackle on offense, defensive tackle, and nose guard on defense. Excited about his improvement. Has gotten much stronger this year. Did a really good job in our scrimmage last week of getting a great defensive line push. And then Charlie Slayball is a multi-sport athlete, excellent baseball player, has really grown into his body. He's sitting there about 6 feet, 6'1", 185 pounds. Does it all for us. We've moved him to inside linebacker, played strong safety for us last year. And so now he's playing inside linebacker, kind of in that Jackson Marshall mode.
Yeah.
And that type of
Swiss
build.
knife.
Yeah, can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So we're excited about both of those players.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about your offense and defense in a minute, but what I'd like to start off with is every coach that you ever talk to, they don't do it by themselves. Could you talk a little bit about your assistants on your staff?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because we have amazing assistants. And when I look at assistant coaches, I have found in my 4 years moving into my 5th year, the biggest challenge is hiring the right staff. Hiring a staff that is selfless, that cares about the kids first. It's not about them. It's not about them just wearing a hat on Friday night. They're willing to get their hands dirty, get in the trenches with the kids, lay out dummies, set up drills, and we have an excellent staff. It first starts with our associate head coach, Tim Rose, over 30 years of experience in the middle school and the high school ranks. And he's my big picture guy. Helps me really look at the big picture. Does a great job with our skilled players as well. And it starts with Tim. He's been with us since we rebooted the program in 2018. Very fortunate last year to bring over Brian Washington from Paris. Brian has just done an amazing job, number one as a defensive coordinator, but also being a head coach for 11 years at Paris. He can see things through my eyes, and he gives me just great advice, keeps me calm, helps me work through things, which is amazing. Love Coach Washington. Had a great addition last year with Austin Arnold, a guy who's from Knoxville, Tennessee, believe it or not, where I'm from. Played at center, graduated in 2017, an excellent technician on the line of scrimmage, offensive line, defensive line. Our guys really love him. Marco Wingate. Marco's a guy who I got to know through youth football. Competed against Marco. He's our Swiss Army knife. Does everything. Can see the next step. Get the next drill set up. Knows what I need. Thinks the way I think. Really enjoyed Marco. Joe Conley is a guy who helps us more on the youth side, but helps us on Friday night as well. Joe and I have coached since 2013 in youth ball, and so he's a guy that, as far as that energy guy, that passion guy that the kids can really gravitate toward, have really enjoyed him as well. And this year we have been able to bring on Jim Marshall, who's Jackson Marshall's dad, and went through the program as a father. Jim played at Marshall University in the 80s. Contacted me this year and said, Coach, you know what? The program's done so much for my family. I love an opportunity to give back and to coach. And so he's working with our defensive backs and our tight ends. An amazing person, number one. I mean, if you want your young man to model someone, you want them to model Jim Marshall. And so that's been really good. And so we're excited about our staff.
That's a good group. And I like the fact that you have people that they can do things before you ask them to do it.
Oh,
you know
my
what I
goodness.
mean?
Absolutely.
That's the key. You know, there's always coaches, Gary, that'll do, when you ask them to do something, they're going to do it. But there's a few that know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And why don't we, I already got it set up, Coach, you know, that type of
That is music to a head coach's ear when they already have something set up. They've thought about the next step. Oh, it's amazing.
That's because the less you have to do, you know,
Yes.
the less you have to do as a head coach, that's better for you.
Oh, absolutely. And coaching single A ball where you have smaller staffs anyway, we're coaching both sides of the ball. We're coaching special teams. We're just like our players. Our players play both sides of the ball. And so we coach both sides of the ball, which I think makes us better coaches, because we've really got to be creative in how we substitute, how we make sure that that our starters are staying fresh for 4 quarters so that we have them in the 4th quarter.
Coach, you're 20-4 in the last 2 seasons. That's incredible at Sayre High School. They didn't have football 4 or 5 years ago. So what you've done starting playing the JV schedule to this varsity schedule, that's remarkable.
It's first of all a testament to our school, our leadership with Stephen Manella and our athletic director Rich Little for supporting us. It's a testament to our partnership with our families. They really believe in the core values that we're trying to teach our young men, and that's what we put first. And then finally, it's a testament to those Sayre football pioneers the last 4 years, the guys who really stuck with us to keep it going. To when there were some times where you just didn't know if it's going to work or not, they stayed the course. And that culminated in our senior class, our first 4-year class last year. Those 10 guys, man, they were such a rock-solid foundation. And so our younger players this year had a chance to watch those guys work and lead and do things right. And we hope that they can imitate that, duplicate that, and even build upon that as we move forward.
I was always impressed, a couple of people, when you first started coaching, the fact that you went and didn't play a varsity season. And I said, that's the smartest thing that a coach can do in a brand new program like that. Just, get a different look.
Well, and I completely agree with you. And the reason is because when you first start, you haven't had a presence of a weight room. You haven't had the ability to truly coach and develop. And so you use those first 2 years so that you don't just throw your kids to the wolves, to where they don't spit the bit on you early and say, why's coach putting us in this situation?
Yeah.
Let's play a JV schedule. Let's get some games under our belt. And the schools that we worked with were just phenomenal in knowing what we were trying to get accomplished. And that's what I love about the Football Brotherhood and most of our coaches, is that they understand that we're really all in this together, using the game of football as a platform to develop young men, because the game's going to stop for all of us. Even Tom Brady.
Yeah.
It's coming to an end.
Yeah.
And when it does,
eventually.
Right. And when it does, how have we let the game develop us for the next chapter of our lives? That's most important.
That guy's regimen as far as working out is so phenomenal. I guess who was it played to George Bland that played
yes.
up to his 50? Maybe Brady's going for that record too.
I don't doubt that. Let's start off talking about a little defense first. All right. Talk a little bit about your team, your players, where you feel like your strengths are.
Yeah.
Well, our first strength is we have really intelligent kids. We have kids that are willing to learn multiple fronts, multiple coverages. We see it as a strength of ours to not stay in one defensive scheme. We want to mix it up. We want to give the offense variety, keep them thinking, try to create as much hesitancy as we can in the fronts that we provide. The reason we've been successful over the last couple of years is it first starts up front. And we've been able to get stronger, bigger, move better. And so this year we feel like we've got a solid front with our defensive front. Jack Bernard, our nose guard, Nicholas Willis, our anchor end, Cayman Peevler, our weak side end. It starts with those three guys, but we also have the ability to go to a 4-down front as well, which we will certainly do. Then you move to the linebackers. Our linebackers this year is where we have less experience. We moved Charlie Slayball inside to team up with Travis Smith, just because you want two guys to have a nose for the football, go to the football, make plays. On the outside, we've got a little bit of youth, but at the same time, we've really worked with those guys really hard the last 4 weeks, working on their jam technique, understanding their run responsibility as well as their pass responsibility. And in the backfield, defensive backfield, we feel really good. Luke Pennington, Brock Kaufman on the edges, Chase Parker and Calvin Perez at safeties. But we also have younger guys behind them to make sure that we give those guys breaks throughout the game. So defensively, feel good where we are. We know we're not where we want to be. We know as we face Pikeville and Hazard and some of these teams that run the ball really well, that ball's coming at us. It's coming at us in the A and B gaps, and we got to find a way to stop it.
Okay, well, let's jump over to the offensive side, starting with the quarterback, and then just go through some people.
Sure. So we've always prided ourselves on offense, too, to be multiple, really be in multiple formations, have some really good solid schemes that we like, use our passing game to really stretch the field down the field, but also be an extension of our running game. So that's kind of how we do it. It starts with our quarterback. We're now changing of the guard at quarterback. My son Cole has gone to Marshall now. He's in fall camp and grinding there. And so now my middle son Luke Pennington has stepped in as a sophomore. Luke is very cerebral. He's got really good anticipation and timing which as he develops physically is going to help him down the road, because he knows right now I'm going to anticipate, I'm going to throw this ball early with air, get this ball out of my hand, throw the receiver open. Has done a really good job of that. From there, it starts with our offensive line again. Tyler Francis, our center, has went from 220 to 260 over the offseason. That's a great anchor for us there. We took our center from last year, Jake Nara, moved him to guard, which has been good. On the left side of him, we have Cayman Peevler, and then on our tackles, Nicholas Willis and Jack Bernard. So we're, between 240 and 260 at most of our positions. So for a single A offensive line, we feel good about that.
That's pretty darn amazing.
Yeah. So last year we had 260, 280. So we're not as big as that, but at least feel like we move really well this year.
Well, if you had a stronger quarterback coach, to work with this young sophomore,
I do feel sorry for our quarterback. He does not get great
cool
coaching.
Hand Luke, we called him.
That's right.
Cool Hand Luke in that bowl game.
That's
and
right.
He was our MVP.
He
was
was
the game.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah. And tell us about him. Is he a little bit? Cole was more of a pocket passer, I think, but Luke's more of a guy that can get out of that pocket and make things happen with his legs.
I think he can. I think he needs to. The quarterback movement piece, I think, will be big, whether we roll out or we use our bootleg game or whatever. I think we can use him in the quarterback read game as well. So I think we want to be as versatile and as multiple as we can from the quarterback position as he develops.
Pro-style offense? Are you spreading the field? Or?
You know what? When I say hybrid wing T, people get concerned, and they're like, wing T, really? And I'm like, well, I really like the wing T formations to throw the football out of. I think it creates a lot of leverage issues for the defense, a lot of alignment issues. So when I say that, we love our jet sweep game. We love attacking the edge, but then we also have some inside runs, and so we're going to be as multiple as we can, using our motions and shifts and motions, really trying to stress the defense formationally to align correctly, because I know coaching defense, half the battle is getting lined up right. And so we're going to use Brock Kaufman, Charlie Slayball, a lot of different people within our system to get them the ball out on the edge and let them make plays.
And you mentioned you had some cerebral players, some smart linemen. So they're going to be smart and not false start on the line, too, to make all these formations happen, aren't they?
Absolutely. Our skilled guys have got to know where to line up, put a lot of emphasis on that. But our linemen have got to really work in tandem. To me, that's one of the most important coaches you can hire as a line coach, because he's not coaching one position, he's coaching 5.
Right.
And they've got to work together as a single unit. And Austin has done a great job in teaching that. And really relaying the information that he has with his technical skills and making it simple for our guys to understand and execute.
So, Luke, you're going to be running some jet sweeps and things like that. Have you worked? I'm sure you have, but worked with him on hiding the ball a little bit and that sort of thing. The best teams that I've seen that run the ball a lot, the quarterback's a magician.
Yes.
Like you did with Ben, right?
Well, Ben was pretty good.
Yeah. And that's one thing that I actually learned, speaking of hiding the football. I learned that in the wing T system. I grew up in a wing T in high school, and you learn how to hide the football, mesh shoulder fakes, things like that. So that's one of the things I was actually working with our quarterbacks today on the mesh shoulder fakes and the telescoping of the ball, and really selling out to it, right? Not giving any indicators that you're not pulling it on a bootleg or quarterback movement. So definitely something that's key to our game is play action and bootleg stuff.
You got me fired up now.
I tell you,
we got to do some of those games.
Hey, King, we're going to do a Sayre game, right? Yes, definitely. We'll be over at Sayre. I love coming over there, Coach. You guys are so hospitable to us and make us feel so comfortable. I love coming to Sayre. You got a great facility now, so there's not much you don't have.
Well, we've got a gym over there that we're just trying to add and improve to every year. This year we spent $8,000 on our game field, where we added a top dressing with our sand, which has increased the draining so well. I mean, we can have a monsoon come through there in 30 minutes, it's dry. So we're excited about that. We're excited about our partnerships with our booster club, and just trying to continually improve every year. Just take another step in improving the facility and doing what we need to do to provide the best experience, not only for football, for all of our sports. That's a 55-acre complex. We have a lot of student athletes over there: soccer, lacrosse, track, tennis, baseball. We want to serve all of our people.
And Coach, what about we haven't talked about it much, but, I like to ask this question. What about your special teams, your kickers, your punter, and your return people?
You know what? We've been very fortunate in 4 years to have a great kickers, and it's two brothers. Trey Atkins was our kicker in 18 and 19. Brady Atkins has been our kicker since 20 and 21, and he's moving into his senior year. Both of them have had very strong legs, very accurate legs. So we view our field goal team as an asset for us, something that, whether it be trying to steal 3 points at the end of a half with a 2-minute drill, or even that first drive and you get going and you get stopped but you can grab a field goal, that's been a momentum builder for us. Also very good at directional kicking he is in the kickoff game, which really condenses the field on the kickoff game, helps us cover better. So we've been very fortunate, and actually we have a freshman coming up behind him, Carson Graves, that's got a very strong leg. It's going to be good too. So I always talk with Coach Brett's our soccer coach, making sure we can find us a good kicker for sure.
Yeah.
Todd's a good one.
Todd's a good guy. I worked with him in Dunbar for years.
Yes.
So he's a good man. One last thing for me, we always ask coaches about their goals, and everybody has that state championship goal down deep. We know that. But the fun thing that I've learned talking to 7 other coaches, eight coaches, is that they talk about their goals as it progresses during the season.
Yes.
And one coach specifically said, one thing we want to do is get better in the second half than we did in the first half.
No question.
We had problems in the second half.
Yeah, Dunbar started 1-4 last year, then finished strong.
Yes. 5 goals, win the home opener. Right?
Yeah.
Come out with a bang, win a home opener, school starting. Let's get the school spirit going, the environment going. Let's defend our home turf.
Your schedule's scrolling across the bottom there now, Coach.
Number 2, win the Bourbon Bowl. Anytime you're playing for a championship, regardless of what it is, you want to try to win that.
That's right.
Number 3, have a winning record at home. Be a good home team. Number 4, have a winning record on the road. Be road warriors. Go on the road and win football games.
Yep.
Number 5, let's win our first playoff game. Let's do that. Let's come away with a playoff win. I think those are stretch goals, but they're realistic goals for our team and where we are. They can be accomplished, but all 5 of them have a chance not to be accomplished either. And so you got to find that balance of setting goals that are stretch goals, that are goals that challenge your team, but are realistic as well. I love those 5 goals.
Coach, I know I've asked you this before when I've been out to Sayre High School, but as quarterback for the Jets and now coach at Sayre High School, I know kids are kids, and kids are always going to be 16, 17-year-old kids. What's the best thing or maybe the toughest thing that you've experienced maybe coaching that's really helped you, though, become the coach you are, because you're very successful?
Well, I think, I grew up on a Friday night bus. My heroes were my dad's high school football players. I saw the impact that he made on them when they attended his celebration of life service, and how many former players came back to talk to me and my family about what my dad meant to them. So the hardest thing to me as a coach is to be competitive and coach to win, but also keep that healthy perspective of what is my true mission. The true mission is to develop these young men through the game of football.
Yeah.
And to not lose sight of that. It's not the NFL, right? It's not college. Most of our kids will not play college football. So I've got to make sure that I have that healthy balance of, yes, we're trying to win, we're being competitive, we're pushing our kids to the nth degree, but when they walk away, regardless of what that scoreboard says, they say, Coach prepared me for my next challenge. Whatever my next challenge is, whatever life throws my way, academically, socially, spiritually, just life in general, I'm ready. I can do this because I did it on the football field. And I played football, never thought I could.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready. And that to me is most important.
Doug Charles said it. He was a couple coaches ago. Doug Charles said that after the loss at state championship game, he stood in the locker room, and I guess he was kind of crying. And the athletic director, Terry Johnson, came and said, "What's wrong, Coach?" He said, "I just want these kids to know what you just said. This is just a game. It's a game.
Yep.
You haven't lost a life. These kids are all going to succeed." He said, "I want the kids to know that." But I think there's a lot of wisdom in that.
I do too, and I think, we're so competitive, and our parents get so competitive, and sometimes it can be very easy for us to lose sight of that. I would encourage all of our coaches, let's respect our officials. That's a tough job.
Oh, yeah.
Let's make sure that, if you don't think it's hard, jump in there and you'll see. I've talked to some of my college teammates and pro teammates that are doing that. They say, Chad, it is hard to do, but we love it because we want to give back to the game. Let's work with our officials. Let's treat them with respect. But let's make sure that we're doing that because we're losing those guys, and we need to build that profession back up.
I'm glad you said that, Coach, because you're the first coach that has said respect the officials. I used to umpire, so I know exactly what you're saying about people that yell at you. And KHSA needs officials now.
No question.
And for them to for people to officiate, they got to know that the crowd won't throw stuff at them or be
right.
Just brutal to them. And that's good advice. They're
not getting paid big money, guys. They're just not. But they're out there because they love it. They love to be part of the game.
Yep.
A lot of our guys that we work with, they'll help us and coach the kids through it. Try to tell them what they're doing wrong. So I just think we really got to set the tone as coaches on that.
Right.
And I think what will happen is coaches like you and the other coaches we've talked to, maybe some of their players they don't go to they don't play in college.
Yes.
They can become officials and
absolutely
be part of the game.
Coach, is there anything that we haven't talked about for Sayre High School or the football team or the school that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I think what we've tried to do in 4 years. First of all, through football, we've been able to pour in over $750,000 into our athletic program.
Wow.
With lights, bleachers, press boxes. We've had great families that just want to be a part of it, want to be a part of this excitement, and want to be a part of the growth of Sayre. And what we tried to do is use football as the platform, not only to create a great football program, but also use it as a platform to drive the other sports as well, to support the other sports. So if we're looking at adding lockers, I talked to Coach Bretz the other day, hey, we're looking at adding some lockers, let's look at your locker room. What do we need to do there, right? Talk with Coach Mike on the girls' side, what do we need to do there? Those types of things. So I just want our Sayre community and our faculty to know that we're doing this to make everybody better, to support everybody. The second thing I think that we've done a very good job of and we're working on a daily basis is to really show that academics and athletics can partner together to develop our young people. And when the clock strikes 3:30, the academic process does not stop. When they come to us, I would love for people to sit down and see what these kids are learning, the information they have to absorb, how they have to go on the huddle and study. It's the outdoor classroom is what it is. And so that partnership is so unique, and we can work together as long as we communicate, have each other's back. Hey, he's got a tutoring session. Let's get him to tutoring session, get him to football as quickly as we can. It doesn't have to be one of the – let's don't make our kids choose. That was one thing in my household growing up that I thought my parents did a really good job of. It was never academics over athletics, ever. It was 50-50. But when you're in academics, it's 100%. You're in athletics, full go 100%, right? If you don't get a chance to study as much as you want to because you had a game on Thursday night, make sure you got up in the morning, make sure you took care of that studying for that test. You were expected to perform on Friday night, jump in the classroom on Monday morning and get an A. It goes together that way, and that's what we talk to our players about all the time.
Who would want their kid to play for Chad Pennington and Sayre? I mean, I don't know who.
I'm trying to find out.
Do I have any kids?
You guys got any eligibility left?
Let's see. I got a kid that was all city at Bryan Station, but he graduated, Coach. But I tell you, I love your philosophy. I love your the way you coach, your enthusiasm, and I love coming out to Sayre. And we really appreciate you coming on the show and telling us all about your program.
Absolutely.
We love having you guys out there, and what I really appreciate being a son of a coach is what you're doing in high school sports. I've played on all three levels. There's nothing like Friday Night Lights.
No
nothing like it. And that's what I tell our kids all the time. And so I appreciate you guys, what you do on every Friday night, just accenting and showcasing our student athletes across this great state. It's awesome.
We'll continue to do it. Coach, when you come to Rafferty's, what is your favorite thing to get here?
That's a great question. I always start with a great house salad.
Yep.
Very good.
Great house salad. And I believe they still have the French dip on the menu, right?
Yes, I do.
I'm a French dip guy, so I can go with that. And I got to have sweet tea.
Oh, yeah.
Got to have a glass of sweet tea.
And the prime rib's pretty good, too.
Oh, I love the prime rib.
Coach, on that note, here's your gift card from Rafferty's.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Have lunch on us. Thank you for coming out to the show. We appreciate it. Anything else, Coach?
No, I'm really happy to meet you. I hadn't met you before.
Yes.
We love coming out there. And how you like this facility?
This is awesome. I wish people could truly see it. I mean, this is innovation. This is mobility. I mean, you're right. I mean, this is what it's about. I love it.
We come to you.
Yeah, we come
exactly
to you.
Right.
We don't have to come in. We just do the game right from here.
Flexibility. It's awesome.
Flexibility. We got it all.
And this guy back here is the guy that
He's
does
amazing.
it all.
The
Absolutely.
Wizard of what we want to call him, the Wizard of Nicholasville, the King of Stream.
King of Stream, baby. That's right.
And Chad, it's always great talking to you. You wrapped up our show with some great insight. I tell you, it's a good way to finish the coaches preview.
Very good.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Chad.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you down the road. Enjoy Rafferty's, and thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
That's Chad Pennington, and that does it for the coaches preview show. Hear from any final comments?
No, I've enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah, I have too.
We need to do this every year.
Yeah.
And I know people from the surrounding counties are after us now to start doing it. So
It's just Lexington schools.
this year it's
Lexington schools, and Coach happens to be that with Lexington Sayre. And William, King of Stream, thank you for everything this year. Mike Meehan, Coach Meehan. We'll be on the air August 19th. We're out at Lexcath, right, King of Stream? Yeah, we got Ryle coming into town at the 19th at Lexington Catholic. That's our first game here on Presspen. I want to thank the folks at Rafferty's out here, too. Can't say enough about them. They brought food and drinks. Should have brought Coach something to drink, but drinks, and we really thank them, too.
All right.
So that's it for the show for tonight, and we thank you for listening to this at the Whitaker Bank Broadcast Studio here at Rafferty's. This has been the Coaches Preview Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Prepspin would like to thank these amazing partners. Mingy Beef Jerky, the official game day snack of Prepspin. UK Healthcare Sports Medicine. Whitaker Bank, uniquely Kentucky. Clark's Pump and Shop, return, refresh, refuel. Hallway Feeds. Atkinson, Sims, and Commode, PLLC. Axia Women's Health, Lexington's Women's Health. The BIM Group. Crown Trophy. Howard Real Estate. Ken's Autos over in Paris. Jimmy's Kentucky Roadshow. Lexington Diagnostic Center and Open MRI. New South Professional Wrestling. Rafferty's. White Greer and Maggard Orthodontics. Hello Garage of Central Kentucky. And by the Scholastic Ball Report, celebrating 20 years on TV.
If you're dealing with a sports injury, UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine is here to help you get back on your feet. Ranked as high performing by US News and World Report, the same physicians who take care of UK athletes are here to offer expert sports medicine care for you and your family. UK Healthcare Orthopedic Surgery and Sports Medicine, official healthcare provider for the KHSAA.